In the initial scene, we are presented to a group of two, the mother Beauty and her 6-year-old little girl Lisa. They carry on with a cheerful, blissful life in the edges of Seoul. Being a single parent, Beauty does everything she can for her daughter. Right away, they seem to be a typical blissful family, yet we before long find that over the long haul, Lisa is becoming more youthful. Effortlessness knows this and is stressed over her girl vanishing sometime in the not-so-distant future. To this end she takes a stab at spending as much time with her as possible. However, in the long run 6 years pass and like she had anticipated, Lisa develops more limited consistently. Furthermore, at last returns into her mom's midsection. She delicately holds her, knowing she just has 9 months left and they won't meet again on the grounds that her life is moving in reverse. In any case, time didn't necessarily move in reverse for Beauty. Everything began in August of 2019. Beauty is living joyfully with her girl and time pushes ahead for them very much as it accomplishes for any other person. Be that as it may, everything transforms one day, when Lisa is killed because of a deranged man. Effortlessness whole world accidents as she makes an honest effort to hold herself together. Also, the killer pulled off the demonstration on account of his state of mind. Elegance has been fighting his detainment, however, it just purposes her more difficulty. The main columnist on her side tells her to stop on the grounds that the killer is someplace in the clinic where every one of his requirements are being dealt with. Moreover, her manager cautions her to stop the descent in light of the fact that it gives their organization a terrible standing. At the point when effortlessness loses all will to live, she finds a gathering of discouraged individuals attempting to commit the incomprehensible. She goes along with them, wanting to end her sufferings. Close by individuals who feel the same way. They choose to meet on August 16th and travel to the field where they will take resting pills and commit the unbelievable together. Previously going to meet them, Elegance puts a journal on her girl's grave with every one of their photos and notes on it. Since Elegance has simply conversed with the gathering on the telephone, she is a piece late to the area. Upon at long last arriving at the spot, she meets Park. Like every other person in the gathering, he is additionally worn out of his life and needs to commit the incomprehensible. En route to the open country, everybody quietly pays attention to the radio reporting a meteor shower occurring in a couple of hours. While the remainder of the world is eager to observe something supernatural, the gathering couldn't care less. They at long last come to a little bungalow when the meteor show begins. The pills are disseminated and eaten. Previously everybody nods off. One young lady specifically named Sue-na experiences difficulty gulping the pills, so effortlessness requests that she squash them. At 12 p.m., Sue-na awakens and begins retching. This is trailed by the rest of the gathering strolling up likewise. In the accompanying scene, we see Park and Beauty on clinic beds close to one another. The specialists are making an honest effort to save Park, however in the long run, they report his demise. Effortlessness can hear them talking yet is in a lot of agony to respond to the circumstance. After looking at Park's dead body, she sees him awaken. He advises her to hold on until he recollects her. Elegance doesn't have any idea what it implies, however the words leave a print on her brain. The scene changes to the following day. Beauty awakens and to her complete amazement, the date is as yet August 16th. She should meet the rest of the gathering in a couple of hours despite the fact that she recalls every one of them kicking the bucket the previous evening. Elegance excuses it as a fantasy and does all that she did yesterday. Since she knows where they should meet, she isn't late today like she was last time. The day goes as expected and around evening time, Elegance pounds the pills for Sue-na without her inquiring. This further causes her to accept that she wasn't dreaming, yet Beauty is presently prepared to end her sufferings and doesn't have time to harp on what happened the previous evening. They take the pills and nod off. The next morning comes and the date returns to August 15th. Effortlessness draws an obvious conclusion to sort out that her life is going in reverse since August 17th when she attempted to commit the inconceivable. She promptly goes to her physics sister Anna and tells her what occurred. Anna doesn't trust her and requests that she go to the specialist. This is the point at which it hits effortlessness that regardless of whether her life moves in reverse, nobody would accept her since she would not have the option to meet them later on. For the following couple of days, each time Beauty awakens, she returns a day previously. On certain events, she chooses to remain conscious the whole evening, yet when the clock hits 12 o'clock, She is inexplicably moved to her bed as the day goes in reverse. She recollects all that is going to occur that day and could in fact gauge the climate. Notwithstanding, Elegance wouldn't fret living along these lines, since this would mean she will get to meet her girl and forestall her demise very soon. As days pass, Effortlessness becomes angrier at the individual who murdered her little girl. Before the young lady gets back to life, Effortlessness needs to kill the killer. One evening, she goes to the emergency clinic where he is concealed. Furthermore, attempts to choke out him to death. She as it were stops when Park comes into the medical clinic room, uncovering that the killer is his intellectually sick dad. He doesn't recollect Effortlessness since he isn't living in the past like her, however he appears to perceive her face somewhat. Effortlessness is so stunned that she takes off without saying a word. A couple of additional days after the fact, comes the day of Lisa's memorial service. Effortlessness isn't half however miserable as she seemed to be last time, knowing that she will before long be able to save her little girl. She even will not set up an image of Lisa on the grave. It is then uncovered that when Lisa kicked the bucket, she was on a school trip with her instructor and companions. Consequently, when Beauty awakens the accompanying morning, the primary thing she does is call Lisa's teacher, requesting that she keep an eye on the young lady for the following couple of hours. From that point onward, she hurries to Seoul to the resort where the understudies are remaining. On her way, Beauty additionally settles on certain to decision the police and inform them regarding a crazy man attempting to murder her little girl. Elsewhere, we see Park dealing with his insane dad David. Park has been living with his dad for the beyond couple of years. Furthermore, is burnt out on the elderly person demolishing everything happening in his life. Today, when David won't get into the house, Park discourteously tosses him out, trusting they won't ever meet from this point forward. At the same time, Lisa's instructor nods off. Also, the young lady meanders out to the pool region where she meets David. They go to a little cultivate by the retreat and get a few eggs. David says he is bringing them for his child and is glad to have tracked down the young lady as a companion. In any case, while attempting to cross the pool, the eggs fall into the water. David goes in to recover it, yet behind him, Lisa falls into the profound end and starts suffocating. David makes an honest effort to save her at the point when the cop and Effortlessness show up simultaneously. Effortlessness views as her girl alive and is washed with help. She maintains that David should be captured before Lisa tells her that David is her companion who saved her. Elegance at long last understands that she had been fighting for some unacceptable thing since David was never to blame for the demise. Some time later, Park comes to get his dad, remorseful for treating him the manner in which he did in the morning. Once more Elegance remembers him. Furthermore, attempts to visit with him, yet he deals with her like an outsider prior to leaving with his dad. The following morning, Beauty awakens and breaks into tears on seeing her little girl dozing close by. Afterward, Lisa requests that her mom quit crying by recording it in the common journal, the one Elegance left on the grave before. The fact that the journal has makes it then uncovered voyaged in reverse through time and has all that Elegance wrote later on in it. Days transform into months as Effortlessness lives her best existence with her girl. Indeed, however, they age in reverse and she is stressed about Lisa vanishing following a couple of years. She is glad to have spent more time with her. Years pass and soon, Elegance returns in 2011 when she is 9 months pregnant with Lisa. Subsequent to conceiving an offspring, she holds Lisa for a couple of additional minutes, knowing that it is the last time she meets her face to face. Like she had thought, the following day she is back to being pregnant, which is troublesome on the grounds that she will ultimately lose the child and return to her more youthful self. With time, Elegance reconciles with the way that she won't ever see her girl once more. Then one evening, she tracks down a letter on the rear of the journal. Incredibly, it has a message from Park where he is sorry to her for her girl's demise and faults himself since he let his dad be that day. Incidentally, he composed this letter a day before he chose to commit the inconceivable. He visited the grave around the same time and kept the letter inside the journal Elegance left. At the point when Park and Elegance met on 17th August, he was stunned on the grounds that he realized she was the mother of the young lady who passed on. Elegance recollects Park's final words to her. He requested that she hold on until he recalls her. She understands that she wants to track down him and cause him to recollect the future where they passed on together. This could likewise be the response to going back in time into its unique structure. Subsequent to doing some examination, Effortlessness tracks down the location of Dwight, the last individual from the gathering who needed to commit the unfathomable. She meets him and finds that he has likewise been living life in reverse since the day they kicked the bucket. Not at all like Effortlessness, Dwight is having some good times carrying on with life this way since he is bound to become more youthful also, pass on. The horrendous piece of his life is finished furthermore, presently he simply needs to live until the unavoidable comes. They recall Sue-na and stay about what she may be doing throughout everyday life. After searching for her for some time, they view as her going to sign an arrangement with an organization that will undoubtedly destroy her life. They prevent her from marking the agreement which further saves her life later on. A couple of months after the fact, Beauty is with her sister when she ends up finding Park. He functions as a conveyance individual for a furniture organization. He clearly doesn't perceive her yet. Effortlessness ensures to request his card to reach him later. The following day, she goes to his work and saves him from discourteous clients attempting to get him terminated. Additionally, it ends up being his most memorable day at work. In the wake of defending him, she follows him home and is subsequently defied. Park accepts she is a stalker before she lets him know that she knows him from what's in store. He doesn't trust her, however she has chosen to cause him to recall her no matter what. In the following scene, we see Beauty going to once more Park's work. This time, she finds him talking with It. The questioner doesn't treat Park in a serious way as a result of his shoulder injury. After the meeting, Beauty acquaints herself with Park once more. She professes to be somebody arbitrary and inquires him out for drinks. After Park is plastered, Effortlessness shows him his card, requesting that he not stress since he will undoubtedly be chosen. Toward the finish of the date, Beauty finds out that Park used to be a gifted taekwondo contender. Half a month prior he had a very significant match where he experienced a shoulder injury. It finished his profession and set off his dad's psychological sickness. Effortlessness watches the recordings of the said battle, not entirely settled to prevent the most awful from occurring. The day of the battle comes and she attempts her best to prevent Park from proceeding with it. She even educates him concerning his dad's well-being. Furthermore, his shoulder, and despite the fact that Park accepts her somewhat, he isn't willing to surrender right now of his life. He enters the ring and gets his shoulder broken as he did the initial time. His dad David experiences a stroke as Elegance watches her arrangement flop in wretchedness. In the accompanying scene, Beauty meets Dwight. He uncovers that a meteor shower is going to occur in a couple of months. Concurring to Dwight, the time is going in reverse for them since they attempted to commit the unbelievable during the last meteor shower. Consequently, assuming Beauty will take a chance with her life once more, this may be her opportunity to change her destiny and transform time into its unique structure. Beauty right away chooses to proceed with the arrangement for the smallest opportunity to see her girl once more. Half a month pass. Presently, Effortlessness is with her beau. Furthermore, Lisa's dad. The fact that they broke makes it revealed up before Beauty figured out she was pregnant and she never informed the person regarding the girl. She parts ways with him, requesting that he continue on with his life in a positive manner. Then, comes the day of the meteor shower. Elegance goes to meet Park for the last time to wish him goodbye. However, all things considered, she meets David. He is in a great shape, which is an unusual sight for Elegance. She is sorry to him for misinterpreting him. What's more, rushes to search for Park at his training. To her incident, Park ends up being celebrating with his companions that very day. She searches for him for a really long time prior to surrendering and getting on a transport to Han Waterway. In any case, by a weird touch of destiny, Leave winds up on a similar transport as her. Delighted to see him there, Effortlessness gives him the journal, and embraces him once and for all. After she leaves, Park opens it. What's more, tracks down the diaries about Effortlessness inside. When he peruses every last bit of it, he recollects each experience he has had with Beauty till now. After learning about her arrangement to commit the inconceivable, he rushes to the Han stream. The scene cuts unexpectedly when Elegance hops into the water. She awakens again the following day, yet it turns out that the arrangement worked and presently, time has begun pushing ahead for her once more. Park likewise keeps living, yet he routinely peruses the journal Beauty gave him. Right now, he is preparing for the very match that could represent the moment of truth, his profession. Be that as it may, this time, He has the journal in his grasp, directing him. His destiny changes as a result of the journal making him dominate the match. His dad doesn't get a stroke and the two are more joyful than at any other time. A year passes and Beauty starts giving birth once more. She conceives an offspring. Lastly will meet her girl. With the information she has representing things to come, she can safeguard the young lady and change her destiny. In the last scene, Park meets effortlessness and gives her the journal back. Eventually, the two of them carry on with a decent life, one with a better vocation and the other with her little girl.